When I am new to the DS dynamic, how can I motivate my partner to take the time to get educated? I feel like I'm the only one putting in the effort, even though we have both expressed extreme interest. If the dominant has expressed interest, but isn't actively seeking out education or self-training, or they're not really engaging with you so much in a dynamic, there's a reason why. And no amount of effort on your part, submissives, to motivate your dominant into action or education is going to work. I know that was harsh, so I'm going to take a drink and just let you sit with that. 4 primary reasons why this is happening. Because what's happening is a functional freeze state. So anytime you have a partner or a person who expresses interest in something, expresses intent to do something, but it never actually gets done, it's all just talk, talk, talk. It's all just wishful thinking. 9 out of 10 times that person they're in what's called a functional freeze state. That functional freeze state is an avoidant state that's triggered by trauma. Okay. So I can function barely, but anything above and beyond planning a vacation, doing a dynamic, anything like that, I don't have the capacity for it because I'm so shut down. I can do the bare minimum. I can go to work. I can pay the bills. I'm kind of going to do that robotically, and I'm kind of going to do that numb, but I can still do it. Anything above and beyond for leisure is usually not realized fully because there's a functional freeze state happening. So technically we have 5. Functional freeze is the first. And this is trauma induced. And if you submissive are with a dominant who's in functional freeze, healing is the only thing that's going to motivate them to be dominant. Not you printing out my printables, not you sending them my videos, not you asking really nicely, nothing. They have to do the healing to feel safe enough and comfortable enough to get out of the functional freeze state. It doesn't happen overnight. That's the first one, okay? The 4 others that could be blocking this, that I'm going to lean into more tonight, is perfectionism, insecurity, performance anxiety, and imposter syndrome, okay? I work with so many dominants, and actually, this is just as common with my male doms as it is my female doms, okay? And so when you have a dominant who's new to this, who struggles with perfectionism is about shame and control. And so if you have a dominant who's obsessed with, I have to constantly be in control of every little thing to feel safe, and they have these incredibly high expectations for themselves, they're crippled by this perfectionism. What this perfectionism essentially says to the dominant internally is risk equals failure. You're not going to do it perfectly the first time. You're going to look like a fucking fool if you try that. You don't know what you're doing enough yet. And you're not going to be perfect. So if you try it, you're going to fail. And your submissive's going to see it. Your submissive's going to see that you're not perfect. Then what are you going to do? It's this fear, it's this paranoia, it's this panic that drives avoidance. Confidence is what propels. Confidence and safety is what propels a dominant to a scene. But if the dominant is so new and they feel so overwhelmed by what they don't know and they have a perfectionistic mindset, no, they're never going to initiate play. They're going to avoid, hide, avoid. They might lie to you. They might tell you things that they think you want to hear to pacify your interest for submission, but they're not actually going to do it. It's self-protection, it's fear, it's avoidance. And that perfectionism is the wound that actually needs to be healed. And if you as the submissive are constantly going, hey, you're not playing enough. Hey, you're not doing enough research. Hey, I want more from you. Hey, and they can't even get to a level 1. They can't even get out of like complacency because they're so crippled with perfectionism and fear and anxiety. Then you trying to motivate them is going to do the exact opposite. Push them farther away, push them more in their shell, get them more in their head, freak them out more. That's why I'm saying this is not a wise strategy, submissives. You have to have more awareness. Your dominant is not a kink dispenser. They have an incredible, you know what, submissives? Dominants have an incredibly more difficult job that requires insane creativity, follow through, consistency, mindfulness, and presence that you can't even begin to comprehend, a lot of you submissives. This is why this whole, can we play, can we play, can we play, can we play constantly? No, I don't tolerate that for a minute. I don't tolerate that for a minute because you don't know the energy, effort, mindfulness, and presence that it takes. The preparation. Absolutely. Absolutely. And so it's just going to backfire, submissives. And I don't want that for you. I want you to get the play that you want. So you submissive, you have to back off. You have to have enough love and compassion and understanding and patience for your dominant, submissive. If your dominant is stuck in functional freeze, they're not going to be able to show up for you in the way that you're fantasizing about, and you're going to have to come to terms with that. Not forever. That's why I have a job. Bring them to me. Let's talk. But it's going to be a season of growth that you will have to yield to. If you want to be submissive, if you want to feel that submissive arousal, if you want to get that submissive hit, you want to feel that power gap, that power gap is up to you, submissives. You can create it by getting lower, by getting smaller, by getting softer, by getting more patient. If you're dominant, if you are here and your dominant has a hard time elevating themselves, what can you do, submissives? You can get lower and, oh, what happens? They're elevated.